Hey everybody, I'm Cherie L. Greer, founding director of Kitchen Table Literary Arts, and I'm excited to share with y'all another installment of You Choose the Ending. Y'all should be pros at this by now. This time we've got a story by Slam Anderson called On This Orbit Day. You can listen to the story right here, right now on YouTube, and you can vote in the comments, or you can head over to our blog at kitchen-table.org/blog where you can read the story and vote using our online polling tool. Either way, we want to know what you think. How should this story end? When all the votes come in and we've counted them up, Slam's going to read the winning ending live right here on our YouTube channel. So, Slam, take it away.
Hello, I'm Slam Anderson, and this story is called On This Orbit Day. On this orbit day, Earth residents, also known as ERESs, removed themselves from the Universal Council millenniums ago. Now, on this orbit day, an ERES will speak on behalf of all Earth residents. The Universal Council, also known as the UC, called the urgent meeting on the moon in the old observatory used for solitary training. And I almost forgotten past it was the base for the Earth resident Starling, a domed palace with a glass ceiling that provided the perfect view to the galaxy moving, existing, and rapidly growing. Now, it is the most deserted place in the galaxy. There was no seating in the observatory. The 9-star leaders stood in a crescent shape facing the entrance. Outside the grand double doors that hung carelessly on their hinges were their protectors and 3 ERES survivors. The head star, one of the youngest to hold the title and still new to his role, didn't ask for a test. He gripped the knot on his belt and walked in front of the UC members who were the leaders of the residents, referred to as star leaders. Several of them were his friends before joining the council. One was his kin sister born on the same orbit day on Mars. They trained together, learned, and answered the council call together. The ERES has told us that Earth is rotting in reverse. He spoke slowly, trying to translate the crisis told to him by the starstruck Earth resident Dr. Green. There's an infection in the air. These are passing diseases down to their roots, and the roots are infecting the soil. Nothing will grow anymore. Starvation and dehydration has turned them into beasts and monsters. Their resident has turned against them. They're in need of a new home. The room was quiet besides the sound of the cracking glass from the ceiling. We are not here to condemn Earth residents. This is not a day for us to empty the atmosphere with the past. This ERES will be given the respect and time given to all who come to speak on their residents' behalf. Humble star. What about the respect they gave to the orbiters in Mars? How can you request respect? Bellum, the star leader of Mars, exclaimed as she reflected on the recent attacks on Mars that prompted this meeting. Because, star, it isn't this Earth resident there that tore their flesh and spirits. We need to at least hear what the Earth resident has to say. Everything we know about them is recycled knowledge, whispers, and one-sided journeys written down and taught to us as history. This is an opportunity for some truth. The head star attempted to reason. Truth is in their actions. We're here to decide one thing, to help them or not. This is not a trial for individual crimes, Bellum. Well, it should be. Bellum could barely contain her anger and was fighting even harder to hold back her tears. We lost too many, she told the head star after the ERES attack on Mars residents. Losing one orbiter to right for death is hard, but losing 100 because of unnecessary death is flesh-cracking. She was honored to be a star leader of her home resident. This meeting to her was a sign of failure. Your kin will not be forgotten, star leader, but you cannot grieve them through others' death. If you believe that, then I know you will make the decision honorable of a star. The council members looked down at the belts going around their waists. a reminder of the everlasting oath they took. When the head star felt the council was calm enough, he motioned towards the door. Bring him. Dr. Stephen Green walked into the observatory like he was holding a secret that would fix all that was wrong. He had a guard on both sides and his hands tied in front with glowing rope. Present yourself to the council, the head star directed. My name is Dr. Stephen Green. I am a scientist from Earth's Space Department. Dr. Stephen spoke as wobbly as he stood. He was tall, slender, and unsteady. Like if he leaned over too far, he would probably snap in half. St. Stephen, your residents sent you to speak on their behalf. This is a deliberation. Once your peace has been made, we will decide as a whole to answer your cries. But the previous actions of the ERESs on Mars will be taken into account. The Head Star words deflated Dr. Stephen's confidence, or maybe it was the sudden reality of his situation. Here he stood in front of what he grew up believing was a fictional group, a tall tale like the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus. To Earth residents, the Universal Council was described as a group of people in charge of granting wishes, but they will only grant wishes made upon a shooting star or wish carriers. Dr. Stephen had been trying to contain himself since his capture by the UC. How could anyone born in his century on Earth know that the great Universal Council was real? And they aren't fairies with wings, instead, giants, at least 10 feet tall, with glowing belts and white robes that drug on the ground, their hair gray and dreaded into thick ropes bounded by metal chains. The scientist in him was mesmerized. He wanted to sit down and analyze everything about them, and at the same time, he wanted to forget them. Standing in front of the council, he didn't know where to begin. The stories told him always stressed the importance of being humble when making wishes. His father always told him, make sure your wish isn't completely selfish, son. The Earth residents made a national plan of evacuation when leaving Earth became the only option. Everything had been consolidated as much as possible on Earth to conserve resources. The plan was to send a few soldiers and scientists to Mars to check the safety and stability of the planet. Dr. Stephen still didn't understand how they didn't detect life during their research, civilized, structured, and highly advanced life. We were looking for safe landing space, Dr. Stephen said apologetically, trying to explain the incidents on Mars. In the middle of a village? Truth from a ERES, Bellum hissed. She wasn't interested in hearing the Earth resident explanation. ERESs? Dr. Stephen repeated in a figurative tone. ERESs. ERESs. He tossed the word around in his mouth like he was tasting a foreign fruit and determined to pinpoint its origins. This encrypted language he suddenly wanted to write a book about. He wanted to know its rhythm and reasons. He tried not to show his inappropriate overexcitement in such a life-threatening situation, but it was difficult to contain. He was living in his dream and nightmare at the same time and didn't know whether to feel afraid or fulfilled. Yes, ERES, Earth resident. That is what you are. You are from Earth, right? Humble star. Do we really need to go through this? We are fully aware why we are here. Let us say our piece by way of vote and let our existence continue. Wait. Look, we didn't mean to kill your people. We didn't know you were here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry on behalf of the soldiers. I had no control over them. I'm just a scientist. A really good one, though. I'm a really good scientist. Dr. Stephen said that, snapping back into his reality and the purpose for his mission. It's airborne now. The disease or whatever it is, we honestly don't know. From what we've been able to find, there's no cure. Some people, or ERESs, are immune, but we don't know why or how. There's no logic to whatever this is, just a lot of random death. Food supplies low. There's no government, police, or money. We're going insane. It's only a matter of time before everything rots and dies completely. We have to leave Earth, but don't know where to go. Please, help us. We will right all our wrongs. I know it's a big wish, but it's not just for me. Please. Dr. Stephen removed his glasses and wiped his tears. Have you spoken your piece, St. Stephen? The Head Star said with no emotion or concern towards Dr. Stephen's tears or pleas. Yes, I'm truly sorry for the lives you lost, but the ones responsible have already paid the price for their mistake with their own. Please, don't make all of us pay with ours. Whatever fate comes upon your people, St. Stephen, it will not be due to anything we made. It will be consequences for the actions your people made. Dr. Stephen looked into the Head Star's eyes like he was waiting for his fate to be revealed. He was the stereotypical genius that was bullied and outcast through his childhood to young adult years. But every nerd has their day, he thought. Maybe saving mankind could be his. Dr. Stephen took one more look at the giants that he once imagined with wings and wands. He looked at the Head Star and offered one last plea, assuming his fate and all Earth residents' fates were in his hands. I asked for mercy, if you have any left for us. The guards escorted Dr. Stephen back outside the observatory. The Head Star looked around at the Universal Council. They stood in silence. Before they were sure of their decisions. Now even Starleader Bellum stood in deep meditation. Centuries have shown us that E-races thrive off destruction. But we know change is constant. We would be risking our existence in helping them, but helping is the reason why we exist. Millenniums ago, an Earth resident Starleader was a member of this council. We can waste fragments of our existence going through the old, or we can move on and start the new. What should be, what can be, not what was or is. I'm not trying to persuade you. Your decision is yours. Make sure it's one you can live with for eternity without guilt or shame. It is your duty to not only act on behalf of yourself, but the universe. Starleader Bellum, you will vote first.